Bevan, look, I could say from The Move, from ELO, I could do a Black Sabbath in there, I could do a whole range of things, but we're here to talk about Let There Be Drums today, which is an exciting new project that you've done with Don Powell, who we've also spoken to about this. So tell me about your involvement with Let There Be Drums, because this is like you sort of history repeating, isn't it, Bev? Because you actually covered this song sometime in the past.
I remember the original, obviously, back 1961, Sandy Nelson, which I loved. So I did a version myself in 76, which is a bit of a collector's item. Obviously, it wasn't a hit, but people, I think it changes hands for quite a lot of money these days, a copy of that. And so when Don Powell asked me to be part of the new version of Let There Be Drums with about 25 drummers on it, whatever. I was delighted because I love the cause, because it's to support all the out of work road crew and all the people that make rock and roll shows work. You know, for the musicians, it's been bad enough, but you know, with me, with my band Quill, for instance, you know, we've nearly finished a new album. We've got a Quill Connect TV show, so we're doing things and we're making things happen. But the poor old road crew, they've got nothing to do. There are no shows, and a lot of the guys have gone under. You know, they've lost the jobs. It's very sad.
So this track in particular, "Let There Be Drums," which I think, if memory serves me correctly, it was the biggest charting position for this anywhere in the world was Australia.
Oh wow, that's great. One of you know, there's some great drummers on the record, but the one I so love the fact that I'm following Brian Bennett from the Shadows, because he was like a absolute hero of mine when I was growing up. Really, my favourite British drummer, and I have met him in the last few years. He's a lovely guy as well. So it's great. We're almost at the beginning of the record. It's Brian Bennett, followed by another BB, me. So to be next to one another on this record is a great thrill.
Was it done alphabetically, or is this just the way it's written?
No, just the way it happened. Yeah, which is great.
That's an interesting connection with the Shadows, because didn't you have some sort of history with Hank B. Marvin, you know, way back in the old Move days, or maybe ELO? Or
at one stage, towards the end of the Move's career, I think it was when Trevor Burton left. We asked Hank B. Marvin if he'd like to join the Move, but I think it was more of a publicity stunt than anything, because Hank B. Marvin is a wonderful guitar player, but I don't think his style really would have fitted the Move so much. And actually, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was in the Tony Iommi band, Tony from Black Sabbath, and we did a version of Wonderful Land. It was a tribute album called Twang, and it was a tribute to Hank B. Marvin. So there's another connection there as well, yeah.
Well, Hank lives in Perth now. He's been an Australian for about 2 years, 20 years.
Okay. Yeah, I met him at a barbecue in Mallorca once. So there you go. And what a lovely guy. Yeah, and it's great that he's in Perth. That's another lovely part of Australia. Yeah, excellent. You know, when we used to do the old ELO world tours and whatever, Australia was like just wow. We just love playing there. Great.
Did the Move ever tour in Australia?
No, we never got to Australia. No, we hardly got anywhere outside Europe. We did one American tour for about 3 weeks, and that was at the end of the Move's career anyway. Now, we were very much stuck in Europe, really. But with ELO, we were much more worldwide, obviously.
Because the Move did have a couple of hits here. You know, Flowers in the Rain was a massive hit. That was also a controversial song for you, wasn't it? Didn't some Prime Minister sort of nick off with all your royalties from that?
Yeah. It was. We had a manager called Tony Secunda who was great in many respects. He was terrific, but he was great at getting. He loved publicity stunts, but he went a step too far, and uh, we were sued by the Prime Minister for something that he put together, this postcard, and subsequently lost all the royalties, which was bad enough. But poor old Roy Wood, who wrote Flowers in the Rain and the B-side, Here We Go Round the Lemon Tree, he lost all his songwriting royalties too. So that goes way back to 1967, and God knows how much it's cost Roy in royalties, millions probably.
I mean, these days that'd be just considered a great publicity stunt, wouldn't it?
It was. There were different days back then, for sure.
That must have been such an exciting time in England. I mean, Hendrix, Floyd, Beatles, Black Sabbath, who you also have a history with. That was all just sort of combusting right at that very point. Did you sort of feel the heat that was coming off England at the time?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of revisiting it now because I'm writing an autobiography, which coincidentally is called "Let There Be Drums," which and I'm just going through the like history of the move. I nearly finished that, and looking at it again now. I mean, for instance, we did a tour in '68, with Jimi Hendrix, the Move, the Nice, Pink Floyd, Amen Corner. It was such a 2 shows a night, about 18 nights all around Britain. Those sort of things just don't happen anymore. It was maybe the last great package tour to tour Britain.
You also did time in Black Sabbath for a little bit, wasn't there? And I remember meeting Don Arden in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
He'd come down here, I think, Jet Records. It might have even been, around the time of one of your ELO albums coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Don and his wife came down to Sydney. I recall going to meet them at the hotel, and my God, it was like meeting the king and queen. They looked so regal.
He was a real character. Managers these days are more like bank managers or whatever. But Don was a hard man. He was a gangster really, and he was a good manager for us. But you didn't mess with Don Arden. There was some good stories going around about Don, and people feared him, and he loved that kind of respect that he got in that way. There's a good book written about Don Arden. I think it's called The Godfather, and that about sums it up really. Yes.
Well, you can see where Sharon, his daughter, Sharon Osbourne, learnt the tricks of the trade, can't you?
I mean, she's become a world-known celebrity now, Sharon. But back in the day, when back the days of ELO, she had some great ideas. I think it was Sharon's idea for when we did the Out of the Blue album. The spaceship, the stage show, the spaceship. She helped design that. It was her idea. She helped design the whole thing. She was a talented girl even back then.
There was that thread then. So the Move, Don Arden, ELO, Jet Records, you working with Black Sabbath. It was all connected, wasn't it?
Yeah, even when I was in Black Sabbath, which was 82, 83, Don was managing Black Sabbath at the time. But Tony Iommi's been a pal of mine since, 1970, something like that. And he still is. We're going to his house at the weekend, so he's a lovely fella. He's finally retired, but he would be my best friend in the music business. Absolutely. Yeah.
ELO and The Move had a crossover. So The Move were in the studio recording the last album. ELO was in the studio recording the first album. So, did one actually officially break up and the other one start, or was ELO meant to be like a side project of The Move?
It was complicated. We got Jeff Lynne to join The Move, but Jeff wasn't interested in actually being in The Move. But he wanted to work with Roy and myself, and the idea was from the start that we would form a new band, but we were contractually obliged to make another album as the Move, which we did, and we were in. I don't know whether it's unique. It might be unique. There was, I think it was 71. We were in the charts with. I think it was California Man with the Move and 10538 Overture with ELO at the same time. So we're in two different bands, both had hit records at the same time. And then that was the end of the Move then, and we just concentrated on ELO after that.
Right, you kind of linked it back at one point in the future of ELO with the track "Do Ya" on New World Record, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of was an old Move song. Why'd you re-record that one?
It was a favourite of mine, and I think it was a favourite of Jeff's. And although we'd done it with the Move, in particular, it was a great stage show number. It was one of those. It's got a great guitar riff. It's one sort of song you can just get the crowd clapping along and joining in. So, it was the one and only song that we re-recorded. Yeah.
You resurrected the Move, I guess, in the 21st century, Bevan's Move. It had a limited time when you look at sort of 2004 to when it all stopped again. But, is that something that you would do again in the future, maybe?
My future is very much with a band called Quill. And we've nearly finished a new album, and we got some good guests on it. We've got Andy Fairweather Lowe. We've got Chris Norman from Smokey doing a duet with the lead singer Joy. We've got John Lodge from Moody Blues playing bass on it. And the son of the old string arranger from Lou Clark, who did all the arrangements for ELO, sadly died at the beginning of this year. His son, Lou Clark Jr., he's taken over the mantle, and we've got a few string arrangements on this album, and he's done some wonderful string arrangements on that. So please check us out if you can. We've got a TV show as well called Quill Connect, and if you can remember this, www.quilluk.com. Just put that in, and then Quill Connect comes up. You just click on that, and you can watch our TV shows. And we've been so busy during lockdown with these TV shows and the new album that it's got us through these difficult times.
Oh, I look forward to seeing a few episodes and hearing a few songs. We'll just put the URL in here somewhere.
Right.
And then people, there you go, up there somewhere, and there it is. So people can read it on the screen there.
I think you'll enjoy. We're getting a lot of views, and people keep telling us how much they're enjoying it. So I hope you enjoy. Yeah, you should. Hope so.
Well, you seem to have no shortage of friends. I mean, even Paul Weller pulled you in for a couple of tracks on one of his albums at one time.
Yeah, actually, that was a funny conversation because I had met him before. It turns out that I think Paul Weller's favourite three groups in the world when he was growing up were the Who, the Small Faces, and the Move. And I've been down to his studio, and there's actually posters of us, those three bands, plastered all over the walls and stuff. But he phoned me and said, "Hello, Bev," said, "Will you play on some tracks on my new album?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, of course, I'd love to." He said, "But I got to confess, mate," he said, "you weren't my first choice." He said, "Your second choice. My first choice was Keith Moon, but he's been dead 20 years, so you're my next choice." And he wanted me to play like Keith Moon on the tracks, which I did, because Keith was a pal of mine, and I loved his wild style of drumming as well.
How do you rank Keith in there's various drummers out of the UK. There's Ringo, there's Charlie, and Keith. Does it, is that sort of the trinity, the top three?
Well, they're all such different styles, but they all suit the band's music perfectly, each one of them. Some people sometimes not Ringo, say, oh, Ringo's not, he's not a great drummer, but he's absolutely perfect for the Beatles, and no one else would have played it that. The Beatles wouldn't have sounded as good, I don't think, without Ringo. And Keith Moon was absolutely perfect for the Who. Charlie Watts is great for the Stones. So and Ginger Baker, with Cream. Drummers they can place. Hopefully, I was perfect for the Move and for ELO, and I enjoy my time with Sabbath. So we've all got different styles. And going back to the record, there's all these drummers on Let There Be Drums, and we're all so different, really, in style. Yet it all gels together, and very well produced, actually. Yeah.
And lots of different generations as well in there, isn't there? Like from Stereophonics, people who've played with Jason Donovan and Kylie Minogue. There you go. We've got an Australian connection in there.
Another Australian connection is Olivia Newton-John, who we met when she recorded Xanadu. She came over to the studios in Munich, and what a lovely lady.
So you were actually in the studio with Livy recording Xanadu then?
Yeah, she made the effort to fly out. We're in the studio we most used was Musicland Studios in Munich. Where Queen did a load of recording as well, and Bowie did some. But anyway, she I think she just flew out for the weekend because there's only the one track to record, and now she did it in the studio with the band. And what a beautiful lady, and what a charming girl she was. Yeah.
With ELO, I'll confess my three favourite ELO songs, and you tell me whether we cross over at all. In no particular order, so I'll just throw three songs at you. Can't Get It Out of My Head, Strange Magic, and One Summer Dream.
That'd all be favourites of mine. I think they're three good choices. Strange Magic, I did the bass vocal on, so oh, what a strange magic. So when we used to tour those days, I used to come out front as my moment of glory to be on the mic at the front of the stage. Can't Get It Out of My Head was very important for ELO because it was our first hit record in America, and El Dorado was our first gold album, and One Summer Dream, another lovely song. You're obviously a fan of ballads.
Not necessarily, actually. So that's interesting. I never even thought of it as ballads. I think it might have been just the dynamics of those particular songs. I started in radio in August 1977. And I think Out of the Blue was October 1977. So that's an album I know very well from vinyl and pulling it out of the sleeve and putting it on the turntables as we used to have at the time, back in the old days of radio. Geez, we miss those days.
I can see all the vinyl behind you there. And isn't it great that vinyl's making a comeback? I do some album reviews every week for a Sunday newspaper. And I get all the years I've had CDs sent to me, but now I get quite a lot of vinyl sent. So it's I think, and it's so much more tactile when you pick up an album, and like you just said, take the album out of the sleeve, look at the artwork, read everything. It is I don't know, just feels so much better than picking up a CD and playing it.
Yes, it feels a lot much better than picking up a USB or a mobile phone and looking at your Spotify playlist.
Oh, and tell me about it.
You've got a few records on the wall in the background there. What are we looking at?
Yeah, they're virtually all ELO gold albums and singles and whatever. And there's memorabilia all over the wall from it's a lot of old Move stuff. There's Black Sabbath, there's Quill. This is the music room, and it's a lovely place to escape to. Yeah.
Ground Zero. Jeff Lynne's out doing a ELO, just as Jeff Lynne. How do you feel about that?
I haven't seen the show. I've heard it's very, very good. I'm sure it's great. For many years, Jeff didn't want to be on the road, a long, long time. But he's done some great things. I mean, I love the Traveling Wilburys. What a great band they were. And tragically, so many of them have died. It's just, 3 out of the 5 are no longer with us, which is scary. But Jeff, finally decided he wanted to tour, and they are his songs. I've been privileged to work with, I think, 3 musical geniuses, really. The first was Roy Wood with The Move, then Jeff Lynne with ELO, and Tony Iommi, who with Black Sabbath, who is credited with inventing heavy metal music. He's an amazing guitar player, not just guitar, it's incredibly inventive guitar riffs, but he's a beautiful guitar player. He can play anything, really. It's been great to work with those people over the years.
Well, you've got a very good-looking resume, Bev Bevan.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so we've got a lot to listen to. We've got Let There Be Drums to listen to. Also, Quill. Can't wait to be exploring that a lot more. And then we've got all of those classic albums to go back and give us pleasure day in, day out for the rest of our lives.
Thank you.
That's been a pleasure to get to talk to you, Bev.
You too, and hello to everybody down there in Melbourne and Australia, and one day hopefully get back there. That would be great.